First impressions of the town, well, it's all largely been reconstructed in the last 50 years, so it has that rather brutalist architectural style about it. But that said, it's not bad. We'll go into the old town, see what we make of that. So, old town, what do we think? Well, it's a town of incredible contrasts. One minute it's a really flashy sort of area, next minute you're into something which is frankly quite squalid, but it's really quite interesting. It's kind of lived up to its expectations and probably beyond. I think maybe my favourite part of the city are all the public parks. Go and have a walk through them if you get a chance. Well, it's day 6 of our epic overland journey to Istanbul. Last night was Bucharest. Tonight, well, we're not quite sure. We've got 4 trains to catch. We've achieved the first one, which is moving from Bucharest down to the border with Bulgaria in Rus. Now we move down to Gorna. Bucharest to Rus was in an ultra-modern but very short little train. We travelled over endless plains of fields, and then we swapped onto the Bulgarian rolling stock from the 1950s. It feels like something I used to travel on when I started my career going down to London. Small carriages, I almost imagine Hermione Granger popping up with her bag of sweets. As soon as you're out of Bucharest, you hit one of the Romanian oil fields. Romania used to be one of the largest oil producing areas in Europe. These days there is just enough oil left in the oil fields to supply their national needs, and that has got enough to last for maybe another 6 or 7 years. And then I suppose the flip side of this ageing oil infrastructure was the solar power arrays, which covered acres and acres of fields as we moved further south. But of course the biggest and most striking thing as you come south from Bucharest are the size of the enormous fields. They just go on for mile after mile. No hedges, no towns, just rolling plains covered with cereal. The only thing punctuating the skyline were occasional grain silos, equally deserted. Clearly agriculture is very alive, but the infrastructure which surrounds it has all changed. Those of you who like your post-industrial age relics, this really is a place to come. And I guess that extends to the trains as we go into Bulgaria. I will let you know how we get on from here. Hopefully there are another 2 trains to come, but the final one isn't booked yet, so we'll have to wait and see. And then after a short wait in Gorna, we picked up another train to Dimitrovgrad. We arrived there probably about 10 o'clock at night. Now this was the dodgy bit of the journey as far as I can see, because we managed to book our tickets through from Bucharest down to Dimitrovgrad, but we didn't have onward tickets for the night sleeper to get from Dimitrovgrad across to the outskirts of Istanbul. That, we were told at every station, had to be down to the conductor on the train. So if you can imagine the scene, we're there in a windswept Dimitrovgrad train station with hardly anyone else around, and the train which was supposed to arrive at 11:15 didn't finally turn up until 12:15, that's 15 minutes past midnight. By that time there was basically us, a guard and an old man standing on the platform, and I really was starting to wonder if we were ever going to get out of the town that night. However, the presence of a guard was reassuring, and in the end the train did arrive. We were greeted with a guard saying, "Haven't you got a reservation?" "No." And he said, "Oh well, I can find you a space," in as much as language as we could share. And for the princely sum of €15 each, we had a really nice sleeper car. But there is a twist. But then about 45 minutes into the journey, the Bulgarian customs want to see your passport. Then you shuffle along a bit and it comes to the Turkish passport control. And for this you have to get all your belongings together, climb out of the train in the freezing cold, have your passport checked and stamped, have all your baggage x-rayed, and then finally you're allowed back onto the train. So all this happened at 2:30 in the morning. And to add insult to injury, that was the point when the clocks went forward. So effectively it was then 3:30, and you were feeling a bit like throwing yourself on the floor and having a bit of a tantrum. But luckily the beds in the carriage which we're in now were really very comfortable, and at least we got about 4 hours sleep before we had to wake up ready to get into Istanbul. Now that's a quick whistle-stop tour of our day 6, and we're now into day 7, and it will be one short hop into central Istanbul. So I'll show you a bit of the sights of Istanbul as we go.
into the